everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Did you miss me? Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. Sort of. Not really. Today I'm going to be doing another review. This review is on a little trailer based off this. Let's get started. Alright, so I watched the trailer about 10 seconds ago. It was interesting, to say the least. Okay, Netflix, I get it. You wanted to appeal to a Western audience, and it's very hard to do that if the thing you're adapting is made and set in Japan. So you decided to change everything about the show and make it westernized because it would make more sense to a Western audience. However, Death Note is in fact set in Japan, not only in location, but in narrative, but also in mythology. And changing all of that is going to annoy some people. But the thing is, you couldn't change all that, could you? Because Shinigamis aren't in Western community. We have Grim Reapers, which are sort of like them, but not exactly. And like, come on, you even showed a book that was obviously from Japan because it had Japanese illustrations in it that are distinctly Japanese. And you had him in a kimono. You had Ryuk in a kimono. Like, what the hell? But you obviously knew that this wouldn't make sense unless you added that silly book, that it wouldn't make sense to a Western audience. So why couldn't you just keep it set in Japan? Why? Or you could have done something completely different, which I will get to at the very end of this video. Also, Japanese traditions and culture is a major part of Yagami's relationships, such as with his father, his peers, his juniors, and just his love relationships in general. What I have major issues with, which is probably the most issues with everybody that's seen this trailer, is the characters and the way that they've done the characters in a certain portrayal of light. There's one that I'm happy with, and I'll start off with that one, which is Ryuk, which I'm pretty sure everyone's happy with. This was like perfect match made in heaven casting. Oh my god, Defoe's gonna be amazing. If there's one reason why I would actually watch this movie, it would be him. Because Misa's in this movie. I don't know if everybody noticed that, because while I was watching it, I was a little confused about who the girl was. And then I actually had to scroll down and the people are like, oh, it's Misa. And I'm like, fudge. What have they done? Because this doesn't exactly work very well. They've changed Misa's character completely. And it's not like you couldn't find a blonde in America, let's be honest here. Like, why is she brunette? Anyway, that's not my only problem I have with her. I'm one of those annoying people that love the looks of the characters, and if the character looks a certain way, I would hope that you stay true to the character looking that certain way, and you would make that person look that certain way. It's not that hard. I'm a cosplayer. I should know. Anyway, Misa. Okay, I can get where they're coming from with Misa's character. I get it. Misa is an idol. That does not translate over very well to a Western audience because idols in Japan are not like what we have over here, like singers and like band artists and stuff like that, or performers and stuff. They're very different in Japan. But you know, this wouldn't be an issue if they said it in Japan. But they obviously aren't, so there is a gaping hole that I have with this character now. If she is not an idol, which is a major part of her character, let alone a major part of the plot, honestly, I don't know why Misa's character is there if she's not got that certain connection. If she still has the Shinigami eyes, then she has point to the plot. Because her entire character is a character to be used. That's her character's role. To be used by Light. That is her role. She's not a love interest because Light is clearly stated in all the material that you can possibly find that he's not interested in her romantically. He's using her for personal gain. If she has the Shinigami eyes, then I can make sense of her being in this film. If she doesn't have the Shinigami eyes, what the hell is she doing in this film? It doesn't make sense because by the looks of this trailer, she's a love interest. And Misa is definitely not a love interest. She has one-sided feelings for Light, and Light uses her based off that. From this, it looks like it's sort of mutual, and I don't like that. That doesn't make sense. Now I know that you're all dying for me to get to the point where everybody's actually probably watching this video, for me to comment on Light and L. Alright, let's be honest. Based on this footage, neither of these characters in this Netflix adaptation are based off the original characters. Neither of them are. The only things they have in common are their names at this point, and that one sits the way the other one sort of sits. Of course, this is only based off 2 minutes of footage, so I could be absolutely wrong, and this entire trailer is absolute bullshit and doesn't highlight everything that's good about the film. Let's start off with Light, which is now Light Turner, I think. Which makes sense. It's to a Western audience. Just, can't tease him about I'm a gay anymore, can we? Right, my problem with this trailer mainly is because they completely changed Light's character. Not only in look, but in personality as well. Because the feeling I got off this trailer is that they're making Light into like a action hero protagonist. And Light is exactly the opposite. He is an anti-hero, and he doesn't go to action. He watches other people go to action for him. He's one of those people. He doesn't go invite himself to actual brawls like he did in the trailer. That's just, what the frig was that? But I seriously hope I'm wrong and they just showed me a really weird version of him in the trailer, because him being an anti-hero is like a major plot point of the entire show, and it's basically its main driving point for Light's personality. Also, I have major problems with his appearance, and he's not the only character I have major problems with the appearance of, but I'll get to him later. He looks way too shabby to be Light. Light is someone with extreme confidence. He has extreme intelligence, he's very handsome, he's respected by most of his peers, and everybody just trusts him because he has that type of aura around him that everyone's just moved by, because he just admits this confidence. That did not come across at all in the trailer. He looked like someone who is a loner that no one really comes up to, or he's not sought after. He's very shabby dressed. It doesn't reflect on Light's personality at all. In fact, I was getting more of an emo vibe than I was a popular boy vibe. Then we have Elle. Now I'm gonna be a bit biased because Elle's my favorite character. I don't like that he's black. Now, I'm not being racist when I say this. My main reason for me not liking that they cast a black actor to play Elle is because it completely goes against the representation of Elle's character. Every time I look at Elle, his character, the way his character looks, shows more of his personality to me. That's what I see when I look at Elle's character, because he has ghostly white skin and bags under his eyes. That is to show that he is socially awkward, he doesn't go outside, he doesn't know how to interact with anybody. In fact, this is even further proven because Light is one of his first friends, because he doesn't know how to interact with people. He's not used to going outside. He's constantly in a room observing people through a computer, constantly staring at a screen. The only person he's ever had real interaction with over the years is Wataru, and that does not come across with him being a black person. Also, from the looks of the trailer, they've died down Elle's characteristics a lot. Elle is a very eccentric person. He prides himself in his intellect and enjoys sweets. The only time I actually saw Elle looking like Elle, and I believe that the actor for playing Elle in this Death Note adaptation actually looked like Elle, is when he was sitting down and having a conversation with Kira, or Light. I hope I'm wrong. Of course, I haven't seen the movie. No one has. So I could be completely wrong and they've just not included any of his characteristics apart from that one scene into the movie. I don't know, it's extremely lacking. It's extremely distant. But yeah, Elle would not stand in front of a whole bunch of strangers with pedestal and start speaking on a microphone with his actual face visible. The reason why he hides his face is so people don't know who he is. No one knows that he's all three detectives for a reason, because no one's seen him. The only reason people actually saw him in the adaptation, the anime adaptation and the manga, is because they're in the Kira caves. Otherwise, they wouldn't know who he was. No one would know what he actually looks like. So does it make sense that he's standing in front of all these people giving a speech? It doesn't translate. It doesn't work. With his character, the way his character is, it doesn't work. Now that I've got all that off my chest, I'm gonna say this. If you're a Death Note fan, this movie is not made for you. It's made for people in the Western audience that have not seen the Death Note franchise before. So it ain't for you. If it was for you, they would stay true to the characters and keep the characters at least somewhat the same, like Ghost in the Shell did. Okay, here's what I wish Netflix did. Got the rights to the film, then decided not to follow the actual cast of the Death Note series. So just base it around the book, which is what the show is based off of anyway. Base it around the book and choose their own original characters. And then just maybe if you want to follow the same sort of plot points as Death Note, but translate them over to a Western audience, that would make sense. Choosing the characters from the show, then pulling them to a Western audience, which it doesn't belong because it makes too much plot holes. Doesn't make sense. If they didn't use the characters from the show, made their own up as Americans, it would make sense because you can use this plot device anywhere. You could use it anywhere. You could drop it anywhere and you can make a story off that particular area that you live in. But because they follow the same characters and the characters have such a history to them now, it doesn't work. But yeah, I'm not expecting much from the Netflix movie. To be honest, the only reason I'll watch it is for Dafoe's performance and curiosity. I may be wrong, everything I said may be wrong, they may do a 180 and just surprise all of us, but based off of this trailer, I'm gonna stick by all my views on it. I can only hope, I guess, that it's not absolutely terrible. I hope they don't do a Dragon Ball Z evolution. But we shall see, we can only hope. So I shall see all you guys and girls the next time I pop by. So